sack. Chris Jones smokes Phillip Rivers right back at the 40.
He's not banking on the skill that he's been blessed with.
The end zone, Kelsey, great catch, touchdown, Kansas City.
Trouble flings it across his body, and it's caught by Hill. Hill has it. He came back
30, he's up to 20. Dirty Dan, all the way to the end zone.
Well, welcome to this edition of Chiefs Rewind. Unfortunately, for the first time this year, we have to talk about a loss as the Chiefs lose to the Colts 19-13. Mitch Holthus with you, along with Shawn, Barber. To me, it seemed like, and I started the radio broadcast with the monologue of trying to win the trenches, and it looked like the Colts won both sides in the trenches, O-line and D-line.
Heavyweight boxing match, two championship teams going blow for blow. It just seems like they had more bodies. They had more big haymakers. They landed more heavy punches. We jabbed. We made them miss a few times, but overall, it seemed like throughout the four quarters, they just kind of landed a lot more of those heavy punches. And then at the end of the game, we just needed that one more drive, that one more stop, and their running game just kind of wore on us.
Yeah, they got some clubbers now on the offensive line, man. They will club you, particularly Nelson, the left guard. For positives, the way they're starting the game, Mahomes was magical. That touchdown pass to Pringle, it's a double scramble. He's going left, right, left, kind of like the San Francisco throw last year. But Mahomes, under pressure all night, was able to get enough of those first two drives to get 10 points on the first two drives.
Yeah, lightning in the bottle, right? He struck it. Our offense went down, scored early in the first half, got some points on the board. But then after the halftime, really no adjustments to get us back on the board.
Yeah.
You always felt like we were just a little bit off, a little bit out of sync. Their defense did a great job of really being very physical with our receivers down the field, avoiding a lot of no calls somehow. Defensive pass interference, defensive holding down the field. You just never know how the referee's going to call it. And this time the referees, they kept their flags in their pockets the majority of the game, and our receivers, we got rerouted a lot.
Pringle, 6 catches, 103 yards. That first touchdown was his first touchdown in the National Football League. But he showed the ability to play physical tonight and kind of put that nice play against Detroit back. So now all of a sudden, and they may need him with this injury situation, guys were going down like flies in this game.
Yeah, Pringle back-to-back games, really rising up, being the next man up, showing that he belongs here. Like I said, he's put a whole 12 months of work and a body of work to show that he belongs to be a part of this wide receiver group. And the NFL is not too big a show, not too big a stage for one Byron Pringle.
I thought there were times, and at times there were stops. The Honey Badger, Matthew, reads that counter pitch and blows it up and keeps him to a field goal, one-possession game. How big was that play? Passanio made some big plays. There just wasn't enough, particularly on the fourth down holds, to keep the Colts from controlling this game.
Usually in a football game, it comes down to 5 or 6 big key plays that you can say the game turned on it. But I think it was more like 15 or 20 just gut-wrenching runs that just kept on. Instead of the running back getting hit for tackles at the line of scrimmage or a tackle for no gain, somehow they got 3 yards. Somehow they kept Mac just kept grinding for extra yardage at the end of plays. Not all that hidden yardage kind of added up at the end of the game. When you allow a team to run the ball at will and not really be able to stop that run, man, in the fourth quarter it just bled until we just didn't have enough energy left to really stop them.
Also a lot of injuries in this game. Chiefs had to piece things together. At left guard, they lose Wiley, so Ryan Hunter has to get his first real scrimmage down action. And then they were down to Colin Saunders and Derek Nottie. That's it for inside techs on defense.
Yeah, the defense, we got some guys we got to go just heal up, lick our wounds. We got a team coming in next week, the Texans, to put up 53 points today. So the NFL is not for long. It's not about your career. It's how long you have between game and game to get ready.
All right, the Chiefs lose it here by a score of 19-13 to the Colts, and I got to bounce back. We got a lot more coming your way.
All right, a couple injuries here to talk about. So Sammy Watkins has a hamstring strain, and then Anthony Hitchens went out with a groin strain. Xavier Williams ankle, Chris Jones groin, Wiley ankle, Pringle went into the concussion protocol but came out okay. So listen, with that, we we got beaten about every phase that you could get beat in this evening. So that's my responsibility to take care of business. With that, 11 penalties against a good football team are going to hurt you. Turnovers are going to hurt you. You got to get I got to get the bigs playing better on both sides on the offensive defensive line. It starts there. When you win, it starts there. When you lose, it starts there too. So it's early in the season. We got to go back and learn from this and get ourselves a little bit healthy with some of these injuries and get rolling. And then the guys that have an opportunity to step up and play, they step up and play and go win games for us. So with that, time's yours.
Coach, you said obviously early in the season, last 4 games you all had a hard time scoring in the first quarter. What do you do?
Yeah, so we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Drove right down the field, penalty, set you back. Had a turnover on a big gain, so penalties are really what hurt us today. So, I mean, you get things going, and then all of a sudden you're going backwards. In this league, it's tough against a good football team. They were hungry for a win, and they came in and got after us. So.
The protection up front had been better the first quarter. What was different tonight?
Yeah, so listen, I'll take responsibility for that, just helping them out with different looks. But again, we've got to do a better job. I mean, there's not a lot of secrets when you're doing it, but we got beat in some cases, some instances, and we just have to do a better job with it.
Andy, with Sammy, did he just go a play or two and then recognize right away that he couldn't go?
I think so. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so they took him out right away and took him back to the locker room. So I will have a chance to talk to him. So.
Maybe you guys got away from the running game kind of early. Did you just feel like that wasn't going to work for you?
Well, they had they were banged up a little bit in the secondary, so I thought we could take advantage of that. So we weren't able to do that on a consistent basis with the penalties and turnovers and things. So, but that was where we could make the best progress scoring.
Coach, if you would, that 4th down play that Justin Houston came.
Yeah, right at the end there. Yeah, so we thought we needed to go for it right there, first of all, and then the backside. Justin made a nice play. He came off the backside, made the play. We can do a better job blocking that and working back out to it. So, but you give him credit. He made a nice play.
Patrick seemed like he was limping a little bit. Did that kind of stop his mobility?
Yeah, he got his ankle. He was falling on a couple times and tweaked it just a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, he was pretty good at the end there, but we'll see how that goes.
Anything else?
All right, good.
Well, the Chiefs get their only touchdown tonight from this guy, Byron Pringle. Let's talk about that play. Certainly some Mahomes magic, but what about you learning to play with him and find an open void and get into the end zone?
I know one thing about Mahomes, you got to stay on the move. He can turn a bad play into a good play. So I just stayed in when I seen green grass and just stayed right there. I knew he was going to come to me.
Physical was this game? Because it seems like now, the last couple of weeks, DBs are getting very physical with you guys.
Yeah, it's a physical game, a physical sport. We just got to come with a tough mindset and deliver the blow first. We're an offensive guy, so we need to deliver the blow first. We don't receive. Well,
and you had six catches for 103 yards and a touchdown. I want to ask you, too, because I asked Coach this week, a single play like you made last week at the goal line, how much confidence did that give you to go out here tonight and be a factor?
I just always played hard, worked hard, and believed in myself. And I know once my opportunity came, I capitalized on my opportunity because I never know when I get another one.
Let's ask about rebounding here now. A lot of guys were beaten up in this game, getting a tough physical game. But what about getting back on track? Where do you start to get back into the win column against Houston?
We go back and look at ourselves in the mirror and evaluate ourselves. Go back to the plays that we should have each individual should have won that play, like as in blocking a man, tackling a man, covering your guy, on special teams, knowing your right procedures. And we just come back and we fix that, and we'll come back and get ready for Sunday for Texans.
One of the highlights of the game, Chiefs lose it 19-13, wide receiver Byron Pringle.
Yeah, just re-aggravated a little bit there in the first half, and then got stepped on in the second half. And I mean, obviously it's going to be a little sore tomorrow, but for me, just kind of going into treatment and getting it better so I can be prepared for next week.
You were limping pretty good at one point when you first got it stepped on. You guys came off the field. Were you close at all to coming out of the game?
No. I mean, I was going to battle through it regardless. I mean, we were in a hard fight game, and so for us, it wasn't going our way. But I felt like we still had a chance, so I was going to find a way to get through the rest of the game.
What made things so difficult tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they played good defense. I mean, they played man coverage. They rushed with 4 people, and they found ways to get pressure and to cover long enough. And so, for us, I mean, Detroit did it last week. New England did it in the playoffs. I mean, we're gonna have to beat man coverage at the end of the day, and we got the guys to do it. So now it's about just going out there and executing whenever teams present it to us.
Seems like things were working between you and Byron Pringle. What are you seeing from him as far as your communication during the game?
Yeah, I mean, he stepped up. I mean, kind of just falling in line whenever Sammy wasn't able to be out there. And so he came in and got his chances. He made some plays. And so, I mean, that's what we have to do on this team is no matter who's out there, I mean, obviously we need to get healthier, but no matter who's out there, we got to find ways to make plays and to win football games.
Pat, I know the running game wasn't productive tonight. Do you feel like that could have taken maybe some pressure off the passing game? Did you guys stuck with it maybe a little more?
I feel like just as an offense as a whole, we weren't productive. If it was passing, running, protecting. I feel like there was times when there was guys open in the man coverage, and I was missing them. You can't. Whenever you're in a close-fought game, you can't miss a touchdown to D-Rob. You can't miss Travis when you're backed up and you're trying to get out of your end zone. And I mean, there's just opportunities that we're missing that game that we have to take advantage of.
And outside of penalties, but what do you think has been the struggle with the offense starting off getting scores in the first quarter of the last 4 games?
Yeah, I mean, we're biting ourselves. I mean, we're really killing ourselves as far as penalties, getting stripped, missing opportunities when they're there. And so in this league, no matter how good your offense is, you got to be efficient. You got to go out there and do things the right way. You can't just rely strictly on talent to score in this league. I mean, defenses are coming and they're giving us good looks, and so for us, we can't get penalties. We can't fumble the ball. And whenever I get an opportunity to hit someone on a throw, I got to hit it.
How do you balance the process of trying to figure out what you guys need to do better and looking back at the game and then turning the page and just starting the game plan for Houston?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to move on. I mean, pretty quickly here. I mean, we're still early in the season, so I mean, this loss hurts a lot. But at the same time, we know we still have a long ways to go, and so it's something that we'll be able to learn from. And as we see the trend, I mean, teams are going to play us in man coverage, and we're going to have to find ways to beat it. And if we don't, we're going to keep getting it. So we'll go back to the drawing board, find ways that we're going to beat man. And when you get the challenge, you have to make sure that they win, and then I have to make sure I hit them whenever they do win.
How disappointing is it when you're trying to present your will to an opponent and they sort of take it away on a 4th and 1 play? Just how frustrating is that coming off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we had a good play call, and we had the opportunity to get it, and we just didn't execute, and that's how the game was the whole time. If it wasn't me missing the throw, or the guys maybe not running the route the right way, or if protection wasn't good, I feel like there was opportunities in the game where we had some shots, and we just didn't execute on those. And like I said, I mean, in this league, I mean, the margin of error is tiny, and so if you're not going to be executing at a high level, you're going to lose football games. And so we're going to have to make sure we go in this next week and prepare, because we have a good football team coming here next week.
Patrick, how similar, I mean, you've referenced the man coverage, but how similar was it to what Detroit played? I mean, I know they played a lot of man, but was there other wrinkles that you saw tonight, or was it just very, very similar to what you saw? Felt like
yeah, I mean, I feel like with the teams of late, it's been just a lot of different types of man. As far as with the safety being the kind of that whole player, the linebacker, and then kind of putting pressure and doing stunts with the D line and trying to find ways to get pressure on me at the quarterback. And so we're going to have to find ways to do better as far as protecting that. We're going to have to find ways to beat man coverage and quicken up our routes. And then, like I said, there were several opportunities where I could have hit guys and I didn't hit them. So whenever I do get those opportunities, I have to.
your former teammate, Justin Houston, obviously, had a sack on you, made a big play 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, and he was a great player for this franchise for a long time. I have a great relationship with him. He helped me become a leader on this team at a young age and let me kind of step up and be vocal on this team. So he's an awesome player, and he's in Indianapolis now, and, I mean, he had a great game tonight.
What was the conversation with him on the sidelines after the game?
Yeah, I mean, just talking football and just talking about the game. I mean, obviously we didn't have it the way we wanted it to, but it's still going out there and competing, and you'd love to do that type of stuff. And so it was good to see him and be able to talk to him a little bit.
I know last year you wore your father's jersey for the Sunday night game. Today you wear Satchel Paige Monarch jersey. Just what led to that decision?
Yeah, I mean, first. It was pretty cool because my dad had always told me about Satchel Paige and LaTroy, my godfather, and how much they kind of looked up to him and did the different stuff that he did on the mound as far as the theatrics and stuff like that, but also a great pitcher. And then, I mean, he changed the way sports is today, and so it obviously is a big part of the Kansas City community, but also a part of just sports in general and having me in this position I am today.
All right. Thank you.
Tano Passanio with us. Couple big stops there. He made a couple back-to-back plays to hold them when the defense needed to get a turn. But how difficult and physical was this game?
It was a physical game, man. They're lined out, ready to play, ready to run, and that's just something we got to work on.
But you were able to get pressure on Brissett yourself and then able to get a big run stop. What about what you're learning to play against a physical team like this?
Hey, just come out, give what you got. I mean, you can never if you give all you got on the field, so that's one thing we know we're going to do.
Now, injury is a big part of this game. 2 defensive inside techs go down. I mean, lose Xavier Williams and then also to lose Chris Jones. Were you looking around like you have to may play inside?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Whenever I get opportunities like that, I get excited. I know the guys around us, they were excited just to play, just to really, like try and hold it down for the team. We hate when guys go down, but in this league, you got to be ready. The next guy got to be ready, so.
So people remember, you played inside some during the preseason.
Yeah, I'm not foreign to it.
Well, let's talk about where you go from here, because rebounding is going to be a big part, mentally, emotionally, physically, to a man. Where do you start this week in getting back off the deck?
I mean, we start every week the same. We plan. We got a little formula. We prepare for every team the same. We just got to come out and execute.
And you're going to play a team now that scored 52 or 3 points today against a high-powered Houston team. Yeah, they scored 53.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, good. You may get a lot more snaps. You might be playing linebacker before this is over.
Yeah. Hey, I'm ready to play wherever. You already know that.
Yes, sir. Know that. Tano Passanio. Chiefs lose at 19-13.
In the trenches, but it seemed to be about the physical nature of the lines tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, we got to play a little better there for sure. But this is, it was everybody. I'm right in the mix. So I mean, it's all of us, and that's what happens in games like this. We all had a piece of it. So we've got to do better. We got to get ourselves back, and a couple guys need to get healthy and get back in there and play. And so physical game. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, they came in and they played harder than what we did. For at least the second half. Too many penalties.
Yeah, significant injuries. How do you deal with that?
Well, the next guy gets in and plays. There were quite a few that hit in this game right there, and that's you can't reach into the pocket and pull guys out. I mean, it was just you ran out of bodies in some cases. So, but. That's no excuse. I mean, you get in and you got to play. And we had opportunities. We didn't take advantage of them. But whether it was turnovers, penalties, I mean, you have 11 penalties against a good football team. I mean, that's what you expect right here.
Listen, a couple of bright spots. Tyrann Mathieu, I thought, had some flashes of really fine play tonight.
Oh, he had a big play. I mean, put us in a position where, again, it gave us an opportunity. And we went back. Made a big play, then went backwards again. So you can't do that. I mean, that's just the name of the game. You got to be able to take advantage of opportunities. We didn't do that today. They did, and as a result, they won the game.
Sammy Watkins tried to give it a go, didn't quite make it. Byron Pringle comes in. I thought Pringle had a really good thing there for most of the game before he looked like he went out.
He did go out. He went into the concussion protocol, but he passed, so he was okay, which is a good sign for, obviously for the next game. So.
Well, listen, I know you got another one coming at you next week with the Texans. We'll let you get back to it.
Absolutely. Thanks. Yeah.
Wrapping it up here, Chiefs lose to the Colts, score 19-13, and dealing with the physicality of the game, particularly in the secondary.
Yeah.
It looks like teams are saying, hey, we're just going to kind of tug you, pull you, and the Chiefs have got to start winning some of those battles.
Yeah, if the Chiefs receivers keep allowing the DBs to, let's say, muddy the waters, to create so much physicalness down the field, legal contact, I think the refs, they get to a point in the game where they'll just stop calling it. It becomes the new norm. Yeah. We saw some big no calls against Kelsey and against Robinson down the field. And when they gain a big pass interference, a 53-yard penalty, that was like half the penalty yardage. We had over 100 yards of penalty, and one play puts them in scoring position. In our drive, sometime on a third or fourth down, we don't get those same calls. You start to blame the refs, but the championship mentality of the Chiefs, we can't blame the refs now. We had opportunities to make enough plays to get out of this game with a win, and we just didn't make the plays.
7 straight possessions again offensively with no points. That's almost mind-boggling for the NFL's #1 offense. Now, how do you rebound? Because we talked earlier to both Tano Passanio and Byron Pringle about getting back on track against the Houston Texans. You played in this league for 10 years, emotionally, physically, mentally. Where do you start to get back on track? Because your confidence is taking a bit of a shot here.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, it takes 24 hours to get the game out your system, right? Yeah. Whether you win, you come up a little bit short, you got to lick your wounds. You got to lick your wounds. You got to get the healing up in the tub and get back to working out. You got to get back to working out, work that soreness out, and then on Monday, get back into the film room. Understand where the breakdowns happen, where the mental mistakes happen, missed tacklings, all the penalties. How can we correct and be better next week, and then get back to work on Tuesday, watching the film, and Monday putting in the game plan.
And finally, as we close, Rick Burkholder is the best in the business, his athletic training staff, but they're going to earn their money this week because of all the injuries coming in and then suffered this week. Yeah. This will be an interesting week to get guys back on the field.
We got to be ready for them Texans, man. They showed to be high-powered this weekend. Deshaun Watson, Fuller, D-Hop. They got some offensive weapons that we got to be able to man up against, and so we can't go into that week short-handed. So the guys got to heal up and be ready to roll.
He's Shawn Barber. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. Time to fight back as Houston comes in next Sunday.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.